Thanks for your interest in transportation. We're at a crucial point here. We have an infrastructure, legacy infrastructure, basically from the Eisenhower era that's crumbling. You know that as well as I do. 160,000 bridges on the national system, let alone state, local highways, are either load limited, that is structurally deficient, or functionally obsolete, causing problems with traffic, congestion, accidents, even deaths. We have road surfaces on the national system where only about half of our road surfaces are in better than fair condition. Americans lost billions of dollars and businesses lost billions of dollars last year trapped in traffic, in congestion across the country. Fuel is wasted. The estimates from the American Society of Civil Engineers and from the two commissions that Congress created are that we just about need to quadruple our investment from all sources, local, state, private, and federal, in our transportation infrastructure if we want to move toward a 21st century system in the not too distant future. We can't find a way quite to get to those numbers yet, but Chairman Oberstar and I are looking at a $450 billion reauthorization. That would be up from just a little over 280 in the last bill, a very substantial increase. We're looking at major changes in policies, many targeted toward the Department of Transportation, a massive bureaucracy that's added layers and layers of bureaucracy and programs over the years, 106 dedicated programs, siloed funding sources, all their own rules and regulations. We're going to wipe most of that away and move toward an agency who, instead of providing for process as their product, is helping our states and our metropolitan areas deliver new transportation projects more efficiently, more quickly, with accountability. There's also been too little accountability in the system. We're going to have benchmarks and measures and incentives for people who follow best practices and are conservative with the taxpayer dollar, but get the job done. This isn't an easy task in this environment. Obviously, with what went on in the end of the last administration with the huge bailout of Wall Street, and early in this administration, the stimulus of what a tiny fraction went to infrastructure, which led to my opposition, to other bills, we're a bit strapped for cash, as you might know, as are many of your states. And there's right now a real reticence to talk about new revenues. We need to raise about $140 billion over the term of the bill, over and above our projected gas tax and other receipts into the trust fund, if we want to spend at the $450 billion level. The good news about that is the way contract authority and other things work under federal rules, those bigger numbers would be, in the future, people would be making investments, buying equipment, and gearing up to go to those higher levels of construction and those new projects. But in the early years, the expenses wouldn't exceed too much the existing income. So we're working on some creative ways to look at, as Oregon did, either delayed taxes, and I've put out a number of ideas that are outside of the traditional gas tax at the pump on consumers, whether you're taxing oil by the barrel to try and make the refiners and the producers and the speculators and OPEC carry a little bit of the burden, or you're looking at a tax I've recently proposed, a very modest tax, 0.2% on speculative oil trading, which didn't exist before the year 2000. It was only because of Enron that we deregulated the energy markets. Of course, Enron's gone, but their scandal lives on and their policies live on. So if we were to just tax the massive volume of energy speculation going on at 0.2%, we could raise more than enough money to pay for the bill. We could begin to help either pay down the deficit or pay for other needs of the federal government. I'm trying to think outside the box and look at other ways to be creative. In any case, Chairman Oberstar and I are moving forward. We have a bill. I recommend it to you or your staff. Look at the bill. If you have suggestions, there's still time for us to make changes in the bill. Our current timeline is probably September. We're looking at a temporary infusion of cash. It doesn't need to be very much to get us to October 1st, probably on the order of $3 billion transfer from the general fund. That gets us to October 1st when this bill expires. And then we're hopeful, after we've gotten through this healthcare debate this month, that September can become Transportation Month, and we can work with Ways and Means on ways to finance the needed investment and move a bill, send a bill to the Senate. Chairman Oberstar has engaged Majority Leader Reid and Chairwoman Boxer in discussions, and they said, if you can send us a bill, we'll take up that bill in conference. They don't feel like they need to go through a 2 or 3 year process to get there to negotiate whatever differences we might have. My committee has spent about 3 years putting this bill together, 3 dozen hearings, and there's been one in the Senate. So we're still hopeful that we can begin to enhance our investment in transportation, send needed funds down to our states and our metropolitan areas to begin to deal with the transportation challenges confronting our country in the 21st century. Thanks again for your interest. I really do wish I could be there with you. And after you look at the bill, if you get any good ideas, please be in touch. Thanks very much.